Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving deep into the life of a remarkable figure, A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. While many know him as the missile man of India, we're going to uncover so much more to his story. I think you'll be fascinated by what we discover from the biography you sent in.
Absolutely. His journey is truly inspiring. What always strikes me is how his brilliance really emerged from such humble beginnings. It's a story I think everyone can relate to in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to the beginning. He was born in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu, back in 1931, right?
That's right. October 15th, 1931.
The biography paints a picture of his early life, facing financial hardship. I was struck by the fact that he even sold newspapers to support his family as a young boy.
It's amazing, isn't it? It just goes to show how such challenging circumstances can sometimes shape truly remarkable individuals. You can see even in his early years that curiosity, that dedication to learning really shines through. He wasn't just trying to get by. He was actively seeking knowledge.
Right. And speaking of seeking knowledge, the biography talks about his initial interest in physics. He went to St. Joseph's College. But then there's this fascinating shift. He moves to aerospace engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology. That seems like a pretty pivotal moment in his life.
Absolutely. I think it speaks volumes about his character, his willingness to follow his true passions, even if it meant changing paths. Imagine having that kind of courage to embrace a new field, even when it might have seemed daunting at the time. And this decision really shaped his entire trajectory.
Yeah, it did. It's like that one decision put him on the path to, becoming the missile man.
Exactly.
But before the missiles, there's the Defense Research and Development Organization, that's the DRDO. He starts there designing helicopters.
Yeah, that's incredible in itself, designing helicopters.
I know, right? But then his journey takes him to the Indian Space Research Organization, that's ISRO, and this is where things really start to take off.
Literally.
I highlighted the SLV-3 project in my notes. The launch of India's first satellite, the Rohini, in 1980. That was a defining moment for their space program. From a technical perspective, what were some of the key challenges they faced? Was the SLV-3 considered a risky project at that time for India?
Oh, absolutely. A risky endeavor. It was a huge undertaking, and there were so many technical hurdles. Remember, this was a time when space technology was still in its relatively early stages, especially for a developing country like India. There were limitations in resources, infrastructure, and even expertise. But they persevered.
I can only imagine the pressure. Leading such a groundbreaking project, it was a giant leap for India. It put them on the map in the global space race.
And Kalam thrived under that pressure. He was more than just a brilliant scientist. He was an exceptional leader. He inspired his team to overcome those challenges, to achieve those ambitious goals.
It's amazing how from those early successes, he earns the title Missile Man of India. And of course, the biography delves into his work on projects like the Agni and Prithvi missiles. Those were pivotal for India's defense, right?
Absolutely crucial. These projects weren't just about developing weapons, they were about asserting India's technological independence, a statement that India could defend itself on its own terms. And under Kalam's leadership, they achieved that.
It's interesting how the biography mentions the Pokhran-2 nuclear tests in 1998. This was obviously a major event. It marked India's arrival as a nuclear power. How did this event shape, India's geopolitical standing? Did it shift those global dynamics like the biography suggests?
The Pokhran-2 tests were definitely a turning point. It sent a very clear message to the world, the statement, India is a force to be reckoned with. And that inevitably had implications, shifting those global power dynamics and India's relationships with other nations.
It's fascinating how Kalam's story doesn't end there.
Oh, not even close. In fact, this is where his journey takes, I'd say a fascinating turn. From scientist to statesman.
You're talking about his presidency.
Precisely. In 2002, he becomes the 11th president of India, the first scientist and the first bachelor to ever hold that office. Truly unique.
It's amazing. The biography really highlights how he went beyond typical political divisions. He really earned that title, the people's president. Why do you think he was so successful in connecting with people from all walks of life, especially, the youth?
He had this incredible charisma as a leader. He just transcended traditional boundaries, connected with people on a personal level. He emphasized the importance of unity, shared aspirations, and that focus on engaging with the youth, inspiring them to dream big. That was really a hallmark of his presidency.
And it's interesting you mentioned the youth because his famous quote, dream, 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 dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result in action, really seemed to resonate with them.
Oh, definitely. His message of hope and possibility resonated so deeply across India. And it's important to remember he wasn't just offering words of encouragement. He lived this philosophy.
He really did. I mean, think about his journey from those humble beginnings to, leading these groundbreaking scientific projects to becoming the president of India. It's a testament to hard work, dedication, and of course, dreaming big.
Absolutely. And even after his presidency, he continued to champion those values. He dedicated himself to teaching, inspiring future generations.
It's incredible how even with all the accolades, he received the Bharat Ratna, which is India's highest civilian honor, he never seemed to stray from those humble roots. The biography mentions he remained deeply spiritual, dedicated to service. Was this grounded nature, this simplicity, always a part of who he was?
His humility was a defining characteristic, definitely. Never lost sight of his values, even as he achieved incredible heights. And let's not forget his love for writing.
Right. Wings of Fire, his autobiography. And then Ignited Minds, which was all about inspiring the youth. Clearly, he really believed in sharing knowledge, empowering others. Amazing how he continued to teach and inspire even after his time as president.
And that brings us to a poignant moment in his life, his passing in 2015.
He was actually giving a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, when he passed away.
It's true. Even in his final moments, he was dedicated to sharing knowledge, inspiring others. Speaks volumes about his commitment to education and his belief in the power of the human spirit.
It's almost like he was living his message until the very end. Makes you wonder, what else he might have accomplished if he had more time. But his legacy, it continues to inspire, I think, around the world.
It truly does. And that's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll delve into that lasting impact of his work, his ideas, and his remarkable life story.
Welcome back.
As we go deeper into A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's life, one thing that really stands out is this, the way he seemed to bridge the gap between science and spirituality.
It is intriguing. Someone so deeply involved in scientific and technological advancements, but also so grounded in spirituality. It's a unique combination.
Yeah, it's not something you often see, especially at that level of, scientific achievement. But for Kalam, these two aspects seem so intrinsically intertwined. He saw this higher purpose in scientific progress, a way to elevate humanity, to bring about positive change in the world.
It wasn't just about, building missiles or launching satellites. It was about harnessing knowledge for the greater good of humanity. That's a pretty holistic approach.
Definitely holistic.
Right.
And if you look at his vision through a wider lens, you see it extended beyond national borders.
Yeah.
He really believed in the power of global collaboration, sharing knowledge and resources for the benefit of all humankind. That was a core principle for him.
You're right. The biography talks about his work in promoting space research, specifically for developing countries. It's like he wanted to empower these nations to address their own challenges, using space technology as a tool for progress.
Exactly. He saw the potential, the immense potential of space technology in tackling issues like poverty, hunger, disease, access to information and resources from space. That could be transformative, especially for countries facing these challenges. He was a true advocate for leveraging technology to improve lives.
It's inspiring to see that merge, of scientific brilliance with a deep compassion for humanity. He was a scientist with a humanitarian's heart.
I like that. That's a great way to put it. He never lost sight of that human element, even amidst all the technological advancements. It's a message that I think resonates even more strongly today as technology just becomes more and more powerful and integrated into our lives.
Yeah, it really does make you think, what kind of world are we building with these tools? How can we ensure that technology is used ethically, to empower, to uplift, rather than to divide or control?
Yeah.
These are the questions that really matter as we move forward.
These are the very challenges A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, grappled with throughout his life. He always emphasized ethical considerations in science and technology, understanding that progress without a moral compass could lead to, unforeseen consequences.
He seems to have recognized that, these scientific advancements, while holding immense potential, could also be misused. He advocated for responsible innovation, progress that benefits all of humanity, not just, a select few.
Absolutely. And this is where his focus on the youth, comes into play again. He believed that that younger generations, they have this crucial role to play in shaping the future. He encouraged them to question, to innovate, to dream big, to use their knowledge and skills to create, a better world.
His message is still so relevant today, especially with, all the complex global challenges we face.
It's a call to action, really, a reminder that, we all have a role to play in shaping a brighter future, whether it's through scientific innovation, social activism, or just, living with greater awareness and compassion. We can all contribute.
And it all comes back to that simple but powerful quote, dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in action. It's like he wasn't just talking about personal aspirations. He was talking about a collective vision for a better world.
Yeah, a world where knowledge is shared freely, technology is harnessed for good, and every individual, is empowered to reach their full potential. It's a powerful vision, one worth striving for.
There's another aspect of his life we haven't touched on yet. His deep connection with India, his unwavering belief in his nation's potential.
That's an essential part of his story, for sure, to understand, his motivations, his aspirations. And we'll explore that further in the next part of our deep dive.
Wrapping up our deep dive into A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's life, it's clear that his love for India played a huge role in everything he did. It went beyond just, patriotism. It was this belief in India's potential.
Right. Yeah, more than just love for his home. He really saw India as a nation that could, achieve greatness on the world stage. And he truly believed that this could be achieved through the ingenuity and the spirit of his people.
The bio really emphasizes this desire to see India progress in all of his work, space research, defense technology, his time as president. It's all connected to this vision of a stronger India.
It is. Think about his contributions to India's space and missile programs. Those weren't just about, technology. They were about asserting India's self-reliance. He wanted to prove that India could chart its own course, independent of, those global superpowers.
It was almost like he was saying, hey, we can do this ourselves. India doesn't have to rely on others. We can achieve great things on our own. And he set these ambitious goals that, they probably seemed impossible to many at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what inspired a generation. He showed them that those limitations, they were often self-imposed. With hard work, dedication, a belief in yourself, anything is possible. He challenged young Indians to break free from mediocrity, to reach for the stars.
And he wasn't just talking about it. He was living proof. He came from those humble beginnings. He faced challenges and still rose to become the president of India. He really embodied the ideals he talked about. And that's powerful. It resonated with people.
Oh, absolutely. He was a living example of what could be achieved. It's no wonder he earned the title the people's president. He connected with people on a level that went beyond, politics, religion, social status. He tapped into that shared belief in India's potential.
The biography even mentioned how much he traveled, visiting schools, universities all over India, constantly interacting with students. What do you think drove that commitment to engaging with the youth?
He saw them as the key to India's future, He wanted to give them a sense of pride, that belief that they could be the agents of change. Empowering and inspiring younger generations was absolutely essential for India's progress.
His message was so clear. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. Simple, but so powerful. He wanted those young Indians to dare to dream, to break free, and to embrace all those possibilities.
And it wasn't just about individual success either. He emphasized working together, toward a common goal, a better India. He really understood the strength in India's diversity, the collective wisdom and talent of its people.
He believed that India's true power, it came from its people, working together, bridging divides, to create a nation that was, not only prosperous, but also just, equitable. That's a vision that continues to inspire India today.
His legacy, it goes way beyond just missiles and satellites. It's about the spirit of a nation striving to reach its full potential, driven by the ideals he championed.
So as we conclude our deep dive into A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's life, what stands out most to you? What can we all learn from, his extraordinary journey?
For me, it's that courage to dream big. Mm-hmm. The dedication to go after those dreams and never give up. That unwavering belief that, we can make a difference, and realizing that our own individual journeys, they're connected to the well-being of our communities, our world.
He reminds us that even when things are tough, there's always hope, there's always progress, and that enduring power of the human spirit. Thank you all for joining us on this incredible exploration of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's life and legacy. We hope you leave feeling, well, inspired to dream big and to make your own contribution to the world.